Hi, hi, hi. Hello, hi. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hi, good morning. Varshini, good morning. Morning, morning. Very less people are there, still sleeping. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Bagunara, Bagunara, everyone Manchi at home. Everyone Manchi at home. Good morning. Class is also in the app, but I think people have not given their credential for app. No problem. Yeah. In few days, the entire class will shift to the app. No problem. Yeah. So good morning, good morning, good morning. Bagunnara, everyone Manchi at home. No one is saying anything. What happened? Uh, Bagunnara. Everyone Manchi at home. Varshini is saying fine, sir. Shudeshna, good morning, sir. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Okay, no problem. So for taking online, you have the numbers. You can search anywhere, you'll find the numbers and you can call, no problem. Yeah. Anjali is saying fine, sir. Very good. Srinath Srinivas Rao, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So what's going on at home? क्या हो रहा है घर पे? What's going on? Morning, morning, everyone is lazy. So what's going on at home? क्या हो रहा है घर पे? Yogi Vardhan is saying CWS, chilling with studying. No problem. Yeah. We are not normal people, sir. We are UPL people. We are ultra pro legend. So that's why we are also chilling. Life is all about chilling only. But till need 2027, we will chill by only one method. For other people, there are different ways to chill. But for us, till need 2027, only one method is there to chill. That is chilling with studying. No problem, no problem. Yeah. In between, I think yesterday you gave your space exam also. This week two exams were there, pace exam was there, space exam was there. How was your exams? How was the exam? How was the exam? Manchi or chadda? Yogi Vardhan is saying give answer. बहुत बढ़िया. Exam is mandatory. Without giving exam, you will not get to know where you are lagging, what mistake you are doing, where is the lack of concept, lack of confidence. Everything you will get to know only with the help of exam. Sudeshna is saying fine, sir. Okay, no problem, no problem. Yogi Vardhan is saying good, sir. Okay, 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 no problem, no problem, no problem. So shall we start with the class? Shuru kar de bhai. Because today we have to complete graph also and we have to start with motion in a plane also. So that's why we have very limited time. So shall we start with the class? Shuru kar de. तो एक बार देख लो, in last class we were talking about different types of slopes. We studied about zero slope, we studied about constant positive slope, we studied about constant negative slope, we studied about increasing slope, we studied about decreasing slope. So all these type of slopes are there already in your notes. Once you can check them, then we will see different possible type of graph, different displacement time graph, velocity time graph, acceleration time graph. So once you can check the slopes that we studied in the last class. Zero slope, constant positive slope, constant negative slope, because slope of displacement time graph will represent velocity, slope of velocity time graph will represent acceleration. Slope of acceleration time graph will not represent anything. Is it okay? All the types of slopes okay in your notes? So no problem, no problem. So it is there, I think. अरे कुछ बोलो भाई, सुबह सुबह ऐसे बैठे हुए हो जैसे रात में क्या किया हो, हैंगओवर में हो. Jerk we don't have to study. Slope of acceleration time graph is jerk. Then what you'll do by jerk? Nothing. So that's why not required. So we'll start. No problem, no problem. So different types of slope we already did. Slope of which graph will represent what we already did. Now we'll move towards some standard graphs. Some standard graphs are there. Standard, you can write standard displacement time graph. Standard displacement time graph. Some standard displacement time graph we will study. Shall we start by standard displacement or position time graph? Displacement time graph, we can also say position time graph. Standard ST graph, displacement time graph. And from here we will learn how to decode the graph. Shall we start? जल्दी से बोल दो भाई. Sudeshna only said yes sir. Remaining people क्या कर रहे हो भाई? खाना खा रहे हो, ब्रश कर रहे हो, वॉशरूम में हो? Yogi Vardhan also said yes sir. So let's start. No problem. Yeah. So a standard displacement time graph we are going to talk. 5 types of this standard displacement time graph will come. You have to check and you have to tell. You have to check and you have to tell. You have to involve yourself in these graphs. No problem. Yeah. So first type of standard position time graph or displacement time graph which we get in physics is like this. So displacement time graph. Displacement is on y-axis, time is on x-axis. And this is our displacement time graph, or you can say position time graph also. No problem. Yeah. So from here, can you tell about velocity of the particle? Can you tell about velocity of the particle? If someone give you displacement time graph like this, can you comment on the velocity of the particle? Particle is doing which motion? So I will simply say, sir, you have given me displacement time graph. एक बार देख लो भाई how to use the type of slopes that we studied in last class. Sir, you have given me displacement time graph. You have given me displacement time graph, and you are asking about velocity. So velocity is nothing, sir. Velocity is slope of displacement time graph. And in last class only I told you whenever your graph becomes parallel to x-axis, slope will be 0. Don't say constant. Yeah. I told you whenever, 0 is also constant, but actually we should say velocity is 0. So I'll simply say, sir, you have given me displacement time graph and you are asking me about velocity. So what is velocity? Velocity is the slope of displacement time graph. And in last class only I told you whenever your graph is parallel to x-axis, its slope is 0. Means velocity of the particle in this graph is 0. Means particle is at rest. We will say particle is at rest in this type of displacement time graph. So this is the first type of displacement time graph. Second, you can tell me, and of course acceleration will be also 0 because particle is at rest. That means velocity is also 0. Acceleration of the particle is also 0. Now can you tell me about this displacement time graph? Can you tell me about velocity of this displacement time graph? If displacement time graph of particle is like this, can you tell me about velocity and acceleration? Can you tell me about velocity and acceleration? Don't say constant because constant can be negative also, positive also. That's why I written clearly constant positive slope, constant negative slope. So you cannot say constant only. अब uniformly increasing hey gadhe, displacement is increasing because body is in motion. I'm talking about acceleration. Acceleration is constant. Acceleration has not to do with this graph. Velocity has not to do with this graph. Velocity has to deal with slope. So I simply say, sir, you want velocity. Velocity means slope of displacement time graph. And this is an example of constant positive slope. So here we will say velocity of the particle is, sir, constant, and that constant velocity is also positive. When velocity is constant, acceleration of the particle will be 0. Acceleration of the particle will be 0, and this motion in physics is known as uniform motion. So this is the displacement time graph of the particle which is doing uniform motion. Is it okay, bhai? So only saying constant, pause, it will not work. You have to also tell about constant, positive or negative. Then you have to also tell about acceleration. So complete idea you have to get from the graph. No problem. Yeah. Now third graph you will tell again. Tell me about velocity here and acceleration. So again velocity will be slope and now your slope is constant negative. फटाफट बताओ भाई, ऐसे क्लास में बैठ के क्या कर रहे हैं? Velocity now I'll say sir velocity is constant because here also slope is constant. So velocity will be constant and that constant velocity will be now negative because this is an example of negative constant slope. So velocity will be constant, negative, acceleration will be 0. And this motion is also uniform motion. Uniform motion means velocity has to be constant. Positive, negative doesn't matter. Uniform motion means velocity has to be constant. Is it okay, bhai? No problem. Now fourth you will say, fourth standard displacement time graph you will say. Again you will tell about the velocity. Tell me about velocity bhai and acceleration. Tell me about velocity and acceleration. हैं? जल्दी से बोल दो. अबे कौन गधा कौन? अच्छा फॉर लास्ट वन यू आर सेइंग. अबे एक्सेलरेशन पे गधे हैं क्या? ये एक्सेलरेशन इंक्रीजिंग डिक्रीजिंग यू कैन नॉट से. वेलोसिटी यू कैन से. हे भगवान. अबे दिस इज एन एग्जांपल ऑफ इंक्रीजिंग स्लोप. एंड व्हाट इज स्लोप ऑफ डिस्प्लेसमेंट टाइम ग्राफ? वेलोसिटी. सो वेलोसिटी हियर इज इंक्रीजिंग. वेलोसिटी हियर इंक्रीजिंग मींस एक्सेलरेशन इज पॉजिटिव. दिस इज एन एग्जांपल ऑफ एक्सेलरेटेड मोशन. बॉडी इज डूइंग एक्सेलरेटेड मोशन. कैसे गधे हैं, एक्सेलरेशन के बारे में बताने लग रहे हैं सीधे. कैसे एक्सेलरेशन बताएगा डिस्प्लेसमेंट टाइम ग्राफ से? From displacement time graph, velocity will come. From velocity, you can comment on acceleration. Fifth one बता दो भाई. Fifth standard, last standard displacement time graph. चलो बताओ about velocity. Tell me about velocity भाई. हैं? Velocity, yeah, I will simply say, sir, velocity is the slope. Velocity is the slope of displacement time graph. Here slope is decreasing. So velocity will decrease. Velocity will decrease means acceleration will be negative. This is known as retarded motion. Or we'll say body will have negative acceleration in this displacement time graph. Retarded motion. So these are the 5 standard displacement time graph. So whenever displacement time graph is asked, anyone asks you about velocity, velocity will be the slope of displacement time graph. So with the help of slope you will get displacement, and with the help of slope you will get velocity, and with the help of velocity you can comment on acceleration. Is it okay bhai? चलो next, I am giving you time of 2 seconds. एक बार चेक कर लो सारे standard displacement time graph, then we'll move towards standard velocity time graph. Surya, what is to be nervous, bhai? Teachers are like your parents. You cannot be nervous with your parents. But I got some nervous. What is nervous? Tomorrow you will be doctor. I will come to you for some treatment. Then I cannot be nervous. You cannot be nervous. कोई बात नहीं. No problem. Yeah. If all the displacement time graphs are okay, you can say done, sir. Then we'll move towards velocity time graph. And once I will say done sir, everyone is saying done sir, no problem. Then we'll move towards some more standard graphs. You can write standard velocity time graph. Standard velocity time graph. Standard velocity time graph. Standard velocity time graph. And first standard velocity time graph is like this. You have to comment on acceleration. Can you tell me about acceleration of the body? Because now slope will represent acceleration. Slope of velocity time graph will represent acceleration. Tell me about acceleration. I will simply say, sir, you want me to tell about acceleration. So acceleration means, sir, slope of velocity time graph, slope of velocity time graph. This is an example of zero slope, means acceleration of the body is zero. Velocity of the body must be constant. This is what you are finding in the graph also. Velocity of the particle is not changing with time. Every time you have same velocity. Your velocity is not changing with time. That is what coming with the help of slope also. Slope is saying slow acceleration means slope of velocity time graph. Slope zero means acceleration zero. Acceleration zero means velocity will be constant. That is what graph is also showing. Your velocity is constant. And again, this is your nothing. This is your uniform motion. Again, once your velocity became constant, this is again your acceleration zero. Again, you have uniform motion. So this is the velocity time graph of uniform motion. Just now you saw some graph. Those were displacement time graph of uniform motion. This is velocity time graph of uniform motion. Next one also you can tell, no problem. Tell me about acceleration. Acceleration के बारे में बता दो भाई. Now I will say acceleration will be, sir, yeah, acceleration means slope, sir, and we already know this is an example of constant positive slope, means acceleration will be constant, and constant positive acceleration will be constant, and that constant acceleration will be positive. And once acceleration will be positive, velocity of the body will increase. That is what you are finding in the graph also. As the time is passing, velocity of the particle is increasing. So two verification we are doing. One with the help of slope, we are getting acceleration. From acceleration, we are seeing about velocity. Then we are checking, does that thing is happening in the graph or not? Yes, sir. Sir, acceleration is the slope. Slope is constant positive, means acceleration is constant positive. That means velocity of the particle must increase. Velocity increase, that is the what graph is also showing. So this is how we can get acceleration velocity time graph for this, no problem. Yeah. Third standard graph. Same graphs will come, only tell me about acceleration, bhai. Tell me about acceleration. Now constant negative. Now we'll simply say, sir, acceleration is a slope. We already know this is an example of constant negative slope. So acceleration is constant and negative. Velocity of the particle will decrease. Once acceleration is negative, velocity will decrease. That is what is happening in the graph also. You can verify from the graph. As the time is passing, velocity of the particle is decreasing. As the time is passing, velocity of the particle is decreasing. That is what slope also saying. Slope is saying acceleration is constant negative. Negative acceleration means retarded motion. Retarded motion means velocity will decrease. That is what graph is also showing, that velocity of the particle is decreasing. No problem. So this is how technique I am telling. I am not saying that these things you should only know. I am just telling you technique how to decode the graph. Next standard. Tell me about acceleration. Tell me about acceleration. Now acceleration is increasing. Yeah, these were examples where acceleration was constant. Means you could use equation of motion for this velocity time graph. You can use equation of motion for this velocity time graph. Sometimes they give 4 graph and they ask for which graph we can which motion represented by graph we can use equation of motion. So here you can use equation of motion. Here also you can use equation of motion. But here you cannot use equation of motion. I will simply say, sir, you want me to tell about acceleration. Acceleration means slope, and this is an example of increasing slope. Means acceleration is not constant now, sir. Now acceleration is not constant. Acceleration is increasing. Acceleration is increasing. Yeah, here we cannot, for this type of velocity time graph, we cannot apply equation of motion because acceleration is not constant. What about velocity? What about velocity? What about velocity? In fourth graph, what about velocity? Velocity is increasing only. Velocity is increasing only because acceleration is positive. These slopes are constant. These constant slopes are positive only, bhai. If you check the angle, everywhere angle will be less than 90 degree only. So acceleration is constant, increasing, and that increasing value is positive. Positive means velocity will increase. This is what you are finding in the graph. As the time is passing, value of your velocity is increasing. So velocity is increasing only, no problem. Yeah. चलो फिफ्थ वन भी बता दो भाई, फिफ्थ वन भी बता दो. चलो चलो स्टैंडर्ड वेलोसिटी टाइम ग्राफ में फिफ्थ वन भी बता दो. Tell me about acceleration. अब एक्सपोनेंशियली पागल हो गया है क्या कुछ भी? For exponential increase and decrease, you must have exponential function. Now we'll simply say, acceleration means a slope. This is an example of decreasing slope. Means acceleration is again not constant. And that constant acceleration is not constant. That means it must increase or decrease. So acceleration is decreasing. Acceleration is decreasing. And what about velocity? कौन गधा बोल रहा है कि velocity is decreasing? आप थोड़ा सा बुद्धि लगाओ भाई, LKG में नहीं हो. How a velocity is decreasing? As the time is passing, velocity is increasing only. Who is saying velocity is decreasing? Acceleration decreasing doesn't mean velocity will decrease, bhai. If acceleration is negative, then only velocity will decrease. Velocity is still increasing because this acceleration is constant and decreasing, but always it is positive only. Means velocity will increase. Slope has not become negative anywhere. So velocity is increasing only. You can check from the graph also. Moonlight is saying velocity is also decreasing. Wow, LKG चल रहा है ना. Acceleration is positive only. Decreasing doesn't mean negative, bhai. If my salary is decreasing, that doesn't mean my salary became negative. Increasing can be also positive. Decreasing value can be also negative. If slope is negative, then you will say acceleration will be negative. Then you can say velocity will decrease. चलो तो स्टैंडर्ड वेलोसिटी टाइम ग्राफ वी हैव सीन. एक बार देख लो भाई, स्टैंडर्ड डिस्प्लेसमेंट टाइम ग्राफ भी देख लो, स्टैंडर्ड वेलोसिटी टाइम ग्राफ भी देख लो. वील कंबाइन ऑल दिस ग्राफ स्लोली टू गेट सम क्वेश्चंस. एक बार देखो. सो 5 स्टैंडर्ड डिस्प्लेसमेंट टाइम ग्राफ, 5 स्टैंडर्ड वेलोसिटी टाइम ग्राफ. Then some acceleration time graph we will check. If everything is okay, you can say done, sir. And once I will say done, sir, everyone will start saying done, sir. So now you can write standard acceleration time graph, standard AT graph. Now here no need to check slope. Here slope will not give you anything. In acceleration time graph, you don't need to check the slope. Slope will not give you anything. So graph you have to check. थोड़ा ध्यान दे भाई, थोड़ा ध्यान दे. Be careful, yeah. Till now in displacement time graph, velocity time graph, we are checking two things. We are checking the slope also. We are checking the quantity also. Means quantity, the graph which is given there. But once acceleration time graph will come, will not check about slope. Why will not check about slope? Because slope will not give us anything. And if slope will give anything, then only I will check now. But here slope will not give anything, sir. Then what to do, sir? Then we have to check the graph itself. हमें graph को ही देखना पड़ेगा. We have to check the graph only. Acceleration is constant or acceleration is positive or negative. Then we have to comment. No problem. Yeah. So first, standard acceleration time graph. बोलो भाई. Tell me about velocity now. Tell me about velocity. Tell me about velocity. Little brain is required to deal with this type of graphs. What about velocity? अबे remains constant गधा है क्या? Acceleration is constant. Hello. अबे LKG में ब्रश लेके मुंह से कुछ भी बोल दिया भाई. Velocity is increasing, acceleration is constant. This is what I am trying to tell. कुछ भी मत बोलो. Now we have to observe the graph. Graph is of acceleration. Acceleration value everywhere is constant and positive. So now I will not check the slope because slope will not give anything. So I'll say, sir, I will check the graph itself. Acceleration is sir constant. And that constant acceleration is above x-axis. Means that constant acceleration is positive. Positive means velocity will increase. This is what will happen. This is how you have to check. Second one. Only two standard graphs are there. Tell me about acceleration and velocity. जल्दी से बता दो. We'll combine all these things in one graph and we'll study slowly. जल्दी बताओ acceleration. Constant and negative. Acceleration is constant and negative. That means velocity will decrease. चलो एक और बता दो भाई. जब इतना समझ में आ रहा है तो ये भी बता दो. Tell me about acceleration and velocity. Now you have to observe the graph. Till now we are observing slope. Now you have to tell me about acceleration and velocity. Acceleration 0. ये कौन श्रीनिवास राव एक्सेलरेशन 0 वेलोसिटी? अबे पागल वागल है क्या भाई? इनको दिखता नहीं है क्या? कैसे बच्चे हैं भाई? आजकल के बच्चे कैसे हो गए हैं? Acceleration is positive and increasing. Acceleration is not constant now. As the time is passing, value of acceleration is increasing. So I will say acceleration is positive and it's not constant. It's increasing. If it is increasing, acceleration positive means velocity will increase. Whether you have constant acceleration or variable acceleration, once acceleration came positive, means velocity will increase. No problem. Slowly you'll get idea. Graph is something, formula is not there that I will apply and I will get the answer. चल एक last भी बता दे भाई. Standard acceleration time graph. Final. Tell me about acceleration. And velocity. थोड़ा बुद्धि लगाना सीखो बच्चों. Positive, now correct. Yeah, I will simply say, sir, acceleration is positive only. It is above x-axis means acceleration will be positive only. Positive, but not constant. Means acceleration is positive but not constant. Not constant means it's variable. Variable means either increasing or decreasing. Now we'll check the graph. Velocity value is acceleration value is positive but not constant, and it is decreasing. What about velocity? Velocity will increase only because acceleration positive means velocity will increase. So these are the standard graphs that we have seen. I think 14 standard graph we have just now completed. एक बार जल्दी से check करो भाई, आगे बढ़ेंगे, एक बार जल्दी से check करो. Check all the graph. We'll combine all these graphs in different questions. Come on. Till now I told you how to check the slope. Then I told you what are the different types of slope. Then I told you standard graphs. Then we will do some questions now. If you feel our graphs okay, you can say done, sir. No, for junior inter we have only in the campus, offline. No online class is there. If everything is okay, you can say done, sir. We'll move further, आगे बढ़ेंगे. We'll combine all these graphs and we will see how to use all these things, because this will not exactly come in the exam. In one question only they will combine 3-4 graphs. So let's start. Chalo bhai, we'll start with one PYQ. Come on, no problem. Yeah, you write. Position time graph. Position time graph of a particle is given. Position time graph of a particle is given. Identify the sign of velocity, which you have to tell whether velocity is positive, negative or zero. Position time graph of a particle is given. Identify the sign of velocity. Identify the sign of velocity at point A, B and C. At point A, B and C. This is point A, this is point B, this is point C. So you have to tell me where velocity is positive, where velocity is negative, where velocity is zero. Out of A, B, C, you have to identify. Actual question in the NEET was identify the point where particle has negative velocity. अब स्लोप क्यों बोल रहा है भाई? ए इंक्रीजिंग डिक्रीजिंग, आप प्लस बोल, कहां पॉजिटिव है, कहां निगेटिव है, कहां जीरो है? अभी भी बोल रहे हैं इंक्रीजिंग डिक्रीजिंग. Slope I am not asking increasing or decreasing. You have to just tell. Pranita has given correct answer. In the NEET they ask identify the point where particle has negative instantaneous velocity. So simply I will simply say, sir, you have given me position time. थोड़ा देखो भाई, logical you have to think. For graph, in order to deal the graph, formula is not there. Sir, I will close my eyes, I will put in the formula, answer will come. No, nothing is like that in the graph. You have to put the logic. Sir, you have given me position time graph. You are asking me about velocity. So do I know any relation between position time graph and velocity? Yes, velocity is the slope of position time graph. Slope we have to check, sir. Slope means, sir, nothing. Slope means tan theta. Now they are asking at point A. So point A you can check the slope. This is how we check the slope in the last class, if you remember. At point A, theta A is less than 90 degree. That means velocity at A will be positive because velocity will be tan theta. Theta is less than 90 degree. So let's check at B. At B, if you draw your tangent, now at B slope will become zero because graph will become parallel to x-axis. So theta B is zero. Means velocity at B will come theta 0, tan 0 will be 0. Velocity at B will come 0. Now they are asking us to check at C. At C also you can draw one tangent. If you draw the tangent at C, you will find theta at C is more than 90. More than 90 means second quadrant. In second quadrant, tan will be negative. That means velocity at point C will come negative. Is it okay, bhai? Everyone getting idea how to check the sign of velocity with the help of xt graph? Hello. So this is the process. This is not any formula. Process you have to do. Process you have to understand. एक और क्वेश्चन बनाओ भाई. Again one PYQ. I am giving you again position time graph or displacement time graph, whatever we want we can take, no problem. Yeah. So I am dividing graph into some zone, O to A to B and B to C. You have to tell me about acceleration. You have to tell me about acceleration. From O to A, you have to tell me about acceleration. You have to comment on acceleration. Comment on acceleration means you have to tell where acceleration is positive, where acceleration is negative, where acceleration is 0. So in region O to A, you have to tell, A to B you have to tell, and B to C you have to tell. You have to tell me about acceleration, whether it is positive, negative or 0. You can reply in the sequence. चलो भाई फटाफट. From position time graph, can we get acceleration directly, sir? No, not possible. So first we have to check velocity. With the help of velocity we can get, sir. Sudeshna, very good. Surya, very good. अब पॉजिटिव कांस्टेंट नेगेटिव कांस्टेंट कहां से आ रहा है? 0 आएगा ना. A to B velocity is constant, acceleration will be 0. Meghna, very good. Akshaya, very good. Yogi Vardhan, very good. Nane Pera, very good. योगसोई, ये क्या नाम है भाई? 710, वेरी गुड. श्रीनिवास राव, वेरी गुड. वेंकट प्रसाद ओनली गिवन. अच्छा, प्लस 0 एंड माइनस, या करेक्ट, नो प्रॉब्लम. प्रणीता करेक्ट. शेख रहमान करेक्ट. सो वेरी सिंपल सर. यू हैव गिवन मी, एक बार देख लो भाई, लॉजिक समझो. You have to understand the logic, how to put the brain in the exam. Sir, you have given me position time graph. Position time graph you have given me, and you are asking me about acceleration. Can I get acceleration directly from position time graph? Impossible. No one can comment on the acceleration with the help of position time graph. So first, with the help of position time graph, you have to check velocity, because velocity will give you slope. So I simply say, sir, you have asked me acceleration, but acceleration I cannot tell directly. So first I will check velocity. So I will check velocity. Velocity is what, sir? Slope. And from O to A, if you check, this is an example of increasing slope, means velocity is increasing. From A to B, constant slope, velocity is constant. From B to C, decreasing slope, velocity is decreasing. But thing is, once you know about velocity, now you can comment about acceleration. Velocity increasing means acceleration will be, sir, positive. Velocity constant means acceleration will be 0. Velocity decreasing means acceleration will be negative. So that's why we will get positive acceleration, 0 acceleration and negative acceleration. Is it okay, bhai? Is it okay? सबको समझ में आ रहा है? Directly from position time graph you cannot get acceleration. So first you have to go via velocity. चलो एक और क्वेश्चन फटाफट बनाओ भाई. You write, which of the following graph represent, JEE means question, easy only. Which of the following graph represents uniform motion? I will give you 4 graphs. You have to tell me which is representing uniform motion. Which of the following graph represent uniform motion? Can you tell which of the graph represent uniform motion? Which option will come? Without giving, you have to also check what is given on which axis. Why? By this we cannot get answer. By this we cannot get answer. So graph should be given. Now I'll write. Now you can tell. So graph, that's why you have to always check the axis. What is given on x-axis, what is given on y-axis, then only you can exactly say. All. Now all will come. Just now I think everyone has got, this is constant velocity, positive. Because position time graph given, this is constant velocity but negative. Constant velocity means uniform. This is already velocity constant. So all of them represent uniform motion. Chalo next question banao bhai, next question banao, next question banao. Chalo, no problem, yeah. Now I'll give you acceleration. I will give you some question based on conversion. One graph given, you have to convert it to another graph. So I am giving you that question. Come on, you can find. You write. For the given acceleration time graph, identify correct velocity time graph. For the given acceleration time graph, identify correct velocity time graph. So I'll give you option. Fast, bhai, we don't have more time. I have to draw all 4 options. Which is the correct velocity time graph? हाँ सुदेशना करेक्ट, बहुत बढ़िया. हाँ बहुत बढ़िया. Third option will come. Simple only. This is NEET 2024 question. In 2024, they asked one graph like this. This graph they gave and they asked about velocity time graph. So I think everyone will get no problem. Yeah. So acceleration is constant positive means velocity will increase. Then acceleration 0 means velocity will be constant. Then acceleration is negative means velocity will decrease. So graph will come, graph will come, graph will come. This is the graph. First velocity will increase, slope will be constant because acceleration is constant. Then velocity will become constant because acceleration is 0. Then velocity will decrease, acceleration will be negative. Is it okay, bhai? Is it okay? Means you have to get idea how to crack. For example, if the same graph I would have given you like this, because previously they asked like this also. Then can you tell me which option will come? If the acceleration time graph is given like this, then which option will come? Then which option will come? अबे second कौन बोल रहा है भाई? First आएगा ना यार. Velocity will increase, then velocity will decrease. Now here no part of constant. This is the answer will come if the graph is given like this. Hello. No problem, no problem, no problem, no problem. Achha, if the graph is given like this, then which graph, which option will come? Which option will come? Which option will come? No option. Yeah, correct. No option will come. Yeah, correct. Means you are getting idea. Just to check your understanding I given. No option will come now. Very simple. I will simply say, sir, acceleration is constant. Now means velocity will increase uniformly with constant slope. Then acceleration 0 means velocity will become constant. Again acceleration became positive. Again velocity will increase. This is a correct velocity time graph. Correct. No problem. Yeah. So just to check, I have given you this question. Okay. Like heat and time graph. Okay. So this is how we can talk. Achha, can you draw displacement time graph for this? Third graph, can you draw displacement time graph? You can draw displacement time graph also, because in this graph velocity is increasing. So when you draw displacement time graph first, you can also convert it to displacement time graph, but you have to put your little bit more brain. I will simply say, sir, what is happening? You want to convert this velocity time graph into displacement time graph. So first velocity is increasing. So whenever you will draw displacement time graph, its slope has to increase. So first slope will increase. Then velocity constant means slope will become constant. Then velocity decrease means slope will decrease. This is the graph which you have seen previously. This was the graph. Hello, bhai. Sometimes from acceleration time graph, they will ask about displacement time graph, but you cannot get directly. So first you have to convert that acceleration time graph into velocity time graph. Then from velocity time graph, you can go with acceleration, displacement time graph. Is it okay, bhai? जल्दी से बोल दो. So this is how we have talked about some standard graphs. I am giving you time of 1 second. पूरा check कर लो भाई. पूरा check कर लो. Check all the graphs that we have discussed. Now we'll move further. We'll start with our next part. एक बार देख लो. Check all the graphs. Morning, so many graphs you have done. I have also taught so many graphs. If everything is okay, you can say done, sir. Meghna already said done, sir. So now we'll not wait because we don't have more time. You can write. You can write motion in a plane. You can write motion in a plane. Motion in a plane. Motion in a plane. Motion in a plane. And you can write projectile motion. Means motion in a plane, so many topics are there. Out of those topics, we are going to study about projectile motion. Motion in a plane. And we are going to study one specific motion of motion in a plane, that is our projectile motion. No problem, yeah. Shall we start? शुरू कर दें, फटाफट बोल दो. Yeah, in few days app will be fully functional. Everything will come on the app only. Nothing will be on YouTube. So shall we start कर दे भाई, projectile motion शुरू कर दे. Today also app is on, but no one has joined. I think some password and some problem there. Okay, no problem. But from tomorrow, day after tomorrow, app will start. So first thing you tell me, okay, no problem. थोड़ा ध्यान दो भाई, थोड़ा ध्यान दो. Now we are going towards projectile motion. Again, one important part. In break of 2-3 years, always one question is asked from projectile motion. तो एक बार देख ले. Some basic points we will talk. First, no problem. Yeah. Till now we studied about motion in 1D. 1D means one axis we were using. If you remember in the beginning of equation of motion, we applied equation of motion on a horizontal road. Car was moving, particle was moving. That was horizontal motion. In motion under gravity, we studied vertical motion. These were example of 1D motion. Now we are going to mix both of them. We are going to have, for example, if you take one stone in your hand, till now you are rolling the stone on ground. That was straight line motion. Then you are throwing the ball vertically up in mug. That is also 1D motion. Now you are going to throw the ball at some angle. Once you throw the ball at some angle, ball will not move in a straight line. Ball will move in a curve. Ball will move in a curve and ball will travel both distances. Ball will travel distance along x-axis also, distance along y-axis also. That's why it will become example of motion in a plane. Motion in a plane means 2D motion. 2D motion means two axes will be used simultaneously. X-axis will be also used, y-axis will be also used, horizontal motion will be also there, vertical motion will be also there. So first thing you tell me, what is the path of projectile? Because now path is not straight line. So what will be the path? कैसा path होगा projectile का? It's not a straight line, it's a curve. Now curve are infinite types, sir. Which curve? फटाफट बोलो भाई, you know. Hello, parabola. So you can write first point. You can write one point. Yeah, okay, no problem. Parabolic path, बहुत बढ़िया. So you can write one point. You write here. You write here. Here, body will move. Here, body will move in two directions. In bracket, vertical and horizontal. Here, body will move in two directions. In bracket, horizontal and vertical simultaneously. Here body will move in two directions, horizontal and vertical bracket simultaneously. And its path will be parabola. And its path will be parabola. And its path will be parabola. Now we study different types of projectile. We'll start with the first type of projectile. You can write oblique projectile. You can write oblique projectile. We'll learn how to deal with oblique projectile. So basic idea of projectile is body will have two motion at once. Body will have horizontal motion also, vertical motion also. That's why it is an example of 2D motion. That's why it is an example of motion in a plane. Sir, what will be the path? Now path will be not straight line. Body will move on a curve. And what is the nature of that curve? That curve will be parabola. Path of the projectile will be parabola. We can have different type of projectile. Projection from height we can have. Horizontal projectile. We are going to study first type of projectile. That is our oblique projectile. Oblique projectile. In bracket you write ground to ground projection. Ground to ground projection. Means ball will be projected from ground, ball will land on the ground. Means ball will be projected from one horizontal level, ball will return back to the same horizontal level. Is it okay, bhai? Shall we start oblique projectile, ground to ground projectile? जल्दी से बोल दो. नो प्रॉब्लम. तो थोड़ा ध्यान देना भाई, थोड़ा ध्यान देना. नो प्रॉब्लम. या and you don't have to understand superficially. Superficially sir formula yaad kar liya. Nowadays you are seeing the paper you cannot solve all question of the paper only by knowing the formula. So you have to understand how these formulas came, how things are happening in projectile motion, so that even some twist will be there. You will be able to identify in the exam. So एक बार देख ले, no problem. Yeah, we are going to talk about oblique projectile, which is also known as ground to ground projection. Oblique projectile, which is also known as ground to ground projectile. No problem. Now be focused, develop understanding. No problem. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And my target is not to make you remember only formula. You have to also understand how these formulas are coming, how concept is getting used here. एक बार देखना. No problem. Yeah. So someone came and he said, sir, you are talking about ground to ground projectile, oblique projectile, means let's assume this is the ground. Okay, no problem. I have a ball in my hand. Till now we are projecting the ball vertically up. Then we are projecting the ball on the ground. That was motion in a straight line, horizontal motion. Now we are going to project this ball. I have a ball in my hand. Now I am going to throw this ball obliquely. Obliquely means at some angle. Oblique means at some angle. So I am going to project this ball with speed u. At an angle theta with the horizontal. This angle is known as angle of projection. Angle theta with the ground, with the horizontal. So this is the standard. Sometimes they can take angle with the vertical also. But standard, we take angle with the horizontal. So this is known as angle of projection with the horizontal. U is known as speed of projection. Once you take the ball and once you throw the ball with speed U at an angle theta with the horizontal, now what will happen to the ball? Ball will go and ball will again fall on the ground. Ball will go and ball will again fall back on the ground. No problem. And this path which you are seeing here, this path is our parabola. Now when ball will go and come back on the ground, ball will attain some maximum height, which we represent as H max, maximum height attained by the ball. Ball will land on the ground at some horizontal distance. This horizontal distance is given special name. Can you tell me what is the name of this horizontal distance? What is this horizontal distance name? I think you know. That is range, which we represent by R. Range of the projectile. Range of the projectile means distance in the horizontal direction. Horizontal distance covered by the projectile when it lands on the ground is known as its range. And of course your projectile will take some time to reach the ground. That time is again known as time of flight. So our first target will be how to calculate time of flight, how to calculate H max, how to calculate range with the help of equation of motion. Projectile is also any not new topic. It is simply use of equation of motion in 2D. Till now you have used equation of motion in 1D. Now you have to use equation of motion in 2D. So first you can draw this diagram. Come on. After drawing you can say done, sir. Yogi Vardhan said done, sir. Okay, no problem. I think everyone has drawn bhai. Jaldi diagram draw karna. Now be focused. Thoda dhyan do. Okay, sir, we understood. Ball will go to some maximum height. Just like in cricket, batsman hit the ball. What is the path of the ball? Path of the ball is parabola. Ball goes to some maximum height. It goes to some horizontal distance. That horizontal distance is range. That maximum height is H max. Ball lands on the ground after some time. That is known as time of flight. Same thing is happening here also. No problem. Now thoda dhyan do. Okay. But sir, how to deal with this projectile motion? So as I said, since you have projected the ball obliquely, that that means along now body is moving. You can check. Body is moving in two direction. Body is also going along x-axis, and body is also traveling along y-axis. So along horizontal, along ground, or along horizontal we take our x-axis. Along horizontal we take our x-axis. Okay. And along vertical we take our y-axis. So y-axis represents vertical direction. X-axis represent horizontal direction. Now thoda dhyan dena bhai. Slowly I am moving towards our main part. No problem. Yeah. Snehilata, check your volume bhai. No one else is feeling problem. Yeah, dhyan de. Chal, no problem. Yeah. So along horizontal we take x-axis. Along vertical we take our y-axis. No problem. Now, thoda dhyan dena. Okay, no problem. If you observe the ball, ball is moving in x-axis also, y-axis also. Ball is moving in horizontal direction also, vertical direction also. That means, acha, can I apply equation of motion for both axes at once? No. You have to apply equation of motion separately for x-axis and separately for y-axis. So that's why you have to deal with. This is what I was trying to tell. Projectile motion is nothing new. It's the same equation of motion which you are applying till now, but till now you applied only for one axis. Now you have to apply for both axes simultaneously. That means you have to collect x-axis quantities and y-axis quantities separately. So you have to check. Ek baar dekh. Now someone came, okay sir, you are going to talk about x-axis separately and y-axis separately. This is how we deal with projectile. Yeah, because body is having two motion at the same time. You cannot deal with both motion at the same time. So that's why we'll deal x-axis separately. We will deal y-axis separately. And for that I will say, sir, if you check initial velocity of the ball, sir, why ball is going in two direction? Because if you check the initial velocity of the ball has two components. One along x-axis, one along y-axis, and you can break basic vectors. You know, if this is u, this is theta. So along the reference line, along x-axis, our initial velocity will be ux, which will be our u cos theta. Along y-axis, our initial velocity will be ui. That will be our u sin theta. Along y-axis, our initial velocity will be ui. That is our u sin theta. So first we will collect what is the initial velocity along x-axis, sir? U cos theta. What is the initial velocity along y-axis, sir? U sin theta. Now thoda dhyan dena. Okay, sir. Initial velocity we know, along x-axis u cos theta, along y-axis u sin theta. What about acceleration? Okay. What about acceleration? What is the acceleration along x-axis and y-axis? Can you tell? What is the acceleration along x-axis and y-axis? What is the acceleration along x-axis and y-axis? Jaldi bolo bhai. X, how much acceleration ball will have along x-axis? How much acceleration ball will have along y-axis? Twarga. Hello. चले गए क्या? What is x and what is ay? What is value of x and what is value of ay? This is the main part, bhai. What is x? What is ay? कुछ बोल ही नहीं रहे हैं. अरे x will be 0. Hello. This is the main property of projectile. In projectile, always remember, projectile means you have thrown the ball in air. अरे तूने ball को हवा में फेंक दिया. Once the ball is in air, which force will act on the ball? Only gravity. And gravity direction is vertical. That's why along x-axis acceleration will be 0. Hello? Acceleration of the projectile in the horizontal direction is always 0. In vertical direction, minus g. Because once you throw the ball in the air, now ball is moving under the effect of gravity. And gravitational force will be only vertically downward. So that's why Ay will be minus g, Ax will be 0. That means horizontal motion of the projectile is constant. In horizontal, you don't have any acceleration. That means velocity of the projectile along horizontal velocity of the projectile will remain constant. Horizontal velocity of the projectile will remain constant. Because why, sir? Because acceleration along horizontal is 0. So in projectile, changes happen only in vertical direction. But in horizontal direction, no change in velocity will happen. Whatever the velocity projectile has here in horizontal, same here in horizontal, same here in everywhere, horizontal velocity will be same. Why? Because in horizontal, you don't have any force, you don't have any acceleration. No acceleration means horizontal velocity of the projectile will remain constant. Is it okay, bhai? Is these datas are okay? In projectile motion, only vertical velocity, vertical things changes. Horizontal, no change at all. Because in horizontal, you can have air resistance. But air resistance we are ignoring. So that's why Ax is 0. Horizontal velocity will remain constant. Acceleration, because acceleration is 0. Vertical will keep on changing. No problem, no problem. This is a basic idea. Now, thoda dhyan do, be focused, be focused, be focused. No problem, no problem. Yeah. So till now what I told, sir, in oblique projectile, body will have initial velocity in two directions. Along x-axis ux, u cos theta. Along y-axis uy, u sin theta. Sir, ax will be 0, ay will be minus g. Ax 0 means horizontal velocity of the projectile never changes. Horizontal velocity of the projectile remain constant. No problem, sir. Vertical velocity will keep on changing just like mug. The way we used to throw the ball used to go up and down. Like that, vertical velocity will keep on changing. No problem, no problem, no problem. Yeah, okay. Yeah. But now someone asked me, sir, okay, we understood, but tell us now how to find time of flight. You said in the beginning our main target is to find time of flight, H max range. Actually, once you know these things you can calculate very easily. So एक बार देख, how to calculate time, how to calculate H max, how to calculate range. First thing you tell me, can you tell me what is the velocity of the projectile at maximum height? What is the velocity of the projectile at maximum height? What is the velocity of the projectile at maximum height? Ye Pushpit. अरे 0 will be vertical velocity. अबे गधों कब जानना सीखोगे? Horizontal 0 is there, but only vertical velocity. If you check at, थोड़ा ध्यान दे भाई. Hello. Velocity of the projectile at maximum. This has been asked so many times. If anyone asks you velocity of the projectile at maximum height, you cannot say 0. अरे 0 will be vertical velocity. But horizontal will be always there now. Vx will be always equal to ux. That will be always equal to u cos theta. Horizontal velocity of the projectile do not change, sir. At the maximum height, velocity will become 0. Yes, but not entire velocity. Only vertical velocity at maximum height will become 0. But projectile will still have horizontal velocity. So from here you got one more information, one important information. Velocity of the projectile at H max will be same as ux. That will be u cos theta. Is it okay, bhai? ये point समझे क्या? So many times they have asked speed of the projectile at maximum height. People feel at maximum height speed will be 0. No, at maximum height, yes, something will be 0. That is vertical velocity due to gravity. But horizontal will be always there. That is u cos theta. And from here you can also relate, since you are long-term people, so I can give you more idea here because I will not get later on time. From this velocity you can also relate kinetic energy of the projectile at maximum height. You can relate with kinetic energy also. That is half mv square. This is the final velocity at maximum height. That is u cos theta whole square. Means kinetic energy at the maximum height will become half mu square cos square theta. And this is your initial kinetic energy. If you check at the point of projection, half mu square. So you can also write kinetic energy at maximum height will be kinetic energy initial into cos square theta. I'm just trying to give you maximum possible informations. Is it okay, bhai? If you're junior inter, then I will not tell kinetic energy right now. But you're long-term people, so you can digest because you have studied about kinetic energy. Okay, sir, we understood. Okay, sir, at the maximum height, people feel velocity will be zero. No, sir, only vertical velocity will be zero, but horizontal velocity is always present. So that's why at maximum height, projectile will have velocity u cos theta. If I know velocity, I can relate kinetic energy half mv square. But still tell us how to find time of flight and how to find h max. So see how to calculate time of flight. एक बार देख ले भाई. Okay sir, how to calculate time of flight? Always remember x-axis will never give you time of flight because x-axis velocity is not changing. But y-axis can give you. I will simply say, just to calculate time of flight, I will simply say, sir, when ball reaches, when ball is at h max, when the ball is at h max, Vy we know, sir. Vy we can write Uy plus Ay into T. Hello, dekho bhai. I am using equation of motion separately for y-axis. Separately. This is the meaning of motion in 2D. Separate equation for x-axis. Otherwise, everything is same. So at maximum height, what is Vy? 0. Uy, we will keep. Later on, we can put the value. Ay minus g, hello, into t. Means from here you will get time of ascent. From here to here you will get the time. From here to here you will get the time. Time of ascent will come, sir, ui by g. Or we can say that means the total time of flight will be double of ascent because same ascent, same descent. So total time of flight will come, sir, 2 ui by g. Now ui value also we can put, sir, to get the standard formula. 2 ui. Ui we know, sir, u sin theta by g. So this is how we derive formula for time of. Both formulas are important. Sometimes ui, ux are given. So we will use 2 ui by g. If theta and u given, then 2u sin theta by g. Is it okay, bhai? Enemy world now coming suddenly after class is ending, at that time coming and asking, chalo, yahan dhyan do. Is it okay how we derived? This year these derivations are important, bhai. Till now I used to say directly formula also many times. But now you must have 100% idea. Acha, can you give me, okay sir, time of flight we calculated, okay. Final velocity will become 0 along y. How will calculate h max? H max will also come from here only because at h max you already know. For h max you can use third equation. So for maximum height, Vy will be my Vy square minus Uy square equal to 2 Ay into Sy. I'm just using this information only. Sir, when ball will reach to maximum height, what is Vy 0? Uy we will keep, sir. We'll put the value at the last. 2 Ay minus g. Displacement along y-axis will be equal to h max. So it will be h max. Now from here minus will get cancelled. We'll get the formula for h max. H max will come, sir, uy square by 2g. Now uy value we can put u sin theta. So when you square your h max, standard formula will come u square sin square theta by 2g. Uy square by 2g. Uy we will put as u sin theta. So u square sin square theta by 2g. These are the formula for h max. Is it okay, bhai? Nothing new I am using. This is what I told. We have to just use equation of motion. Hello. Today we'll derive all the standard formula. जल्दी से बोल दो भाई. Is it okay? समझे क्या? केवल याद नहीं रखना. If you blindly remember, I have seen the student blindly mug up and in the exam they confused u square sin square theta by g or 2g. They will get confused. But if you have exact how it is coming, you will not be confused. That's why I'm just deriving it. Now you tell me time of flight I told, h max I told. Can you tell me how to calculate range? Can you tell me how to calculate range of projectile? Range means displacement along x-axis. Range belongs to horizontal direction. Horizontal direction means displacement along x-axis. Now we can write equation for x-axis. Sx will be, sir, ux into t plus half x into t square. But you already know x will be 0. Now when Sx will be equal to range, ux into t. Ux into t. Time of flight we know now. Ux into t. What is the time of flight? What is the time of flight? 2 ui by g. Means our range formula will come. Range formula will come. Range formula will come. 2 ux ui by g. This is one formula. If you want standard formula, then you have to put the value of ux. Ux value is u cos theta. 2 ux will be, sir, u cos theta. Ui will be, sir, u sin theta by g. Now from here you can combine. U into u will give you u square. Then you will get 2 sin theta into cos theta, that is 2 sin theta into cos theta by g. Now 2 sin theta into cos theta is sin 2 theta. So u square sin 2 theta by g. This is a standard result which you will see in the books, but this result is also important. Entire life students remain confused. By 2 is in H max or by 2 is in the range. Main confusion. That's why derivation was important. H max always by 2 will come now, u square by 2g. So here it will come ui square by 2g. Main confusion of the students, where sin square theta is there, where sin 2 theta is there, where by 2 is there, where by 2 is not there. They mix both of the formula. And when it is asked to find range, they use u square sin square theta by 2g. 2 they take from h max sin square, so you have to be 100% sure. Is it okay, bhai? We'll collect all these formulas in the next class and we'll use them. Hello. Is it okay? Jaldi se bol do. No problem. Yeah, okay. So again, derive by yourself. Sir, what is my job today? Derive these equations by yourself. Post-mortem karo. Ek projectile banao, dekho how it is the angle, how is the acceleration. That's how your thinking ability will develop. तो खुद से बैठ के derive all these things, derive data by yourself, derive them, then you'll get idea how to deal with all these things. We'll use all these things in our next class. Some more standard formula also we'll talk. Tata, bye bye. अच्छे से पढ़ाई करो भाई. Very soon means from today only app was to be started, but maybe some problem is there. So in coming few days app we will start. Don't worry, 1-2 days. Tata, bye bye. अच्छे से पढ़ाई करो. Bye. For CBT mode already we have started developing our infrastructure because computers will be required, lab will be required. Already all those work started. Means still in 1-2 months we'll start CBT exam also. Means exam will be not only offline, exam will be CBT also. No problem. Yeah. Bye. So don't worry about that. Bye. Yeah.